Welcome to The Cut. I'm Andy Ruiz.
And I'm Tyler Abrams. Tensions arise in the Middle East as the Syrian civil war heats up in the midst of a surprise attack by rebel forces on Aleppo. The rebels are part of a newly formed military operations command, which was formed last week. This attack on Aleppo, Syria's capital and largest city, marks the conflict's first major development since the ceasefire in 2020. In 2011, Syrian protesters staged anti-government protests along with other anti-government movements across Arab nations in what became known as the Arab Spring. Brutal and violent crackdowns on these protests by the Syrian president, Bashar al-Assad, prompted armed groups made up of local militias and defectors from the Syrian army to organize and fight back against government forces. The Syrian government, backed by Russian government, pushed the rebels out of Aleppo in 2016. But since then, a ceasefire was declared in 2020 with no major developments until now. According to CNN, the rebel coalition staged this attack in response to the Syrian government's attack on their coalition. Foreign support for the Syrian government has weakened over the years. Russia, a staunch ally of Assad's government, had supported his forces in the skies with the deployment of warplanes to the region. Now, Russia's forces have since been occupied with the ongoing war in Ukraine, leaving Assad's government largely on its own against the rebel coalition. The conflict is still ongoing, but has killed 300,000 and displaced 6 million people since 2012.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with President-elect Donald Trump to discuss tariffs earlier this week. Cut reporter Abby Jurek is here to tell us more. Abby?
Thank you, Andy. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau flew to the United States last Friday evening to meet with President-elect Donald Trump at his estate in Florida. They held a, quote, very productive meeting in the wake of Trump's threat to impose tariffs on goods coming from Canada to the U.S. Senior sources who spoke with CBS said that the meeting was pushed for by Canadian officials. Along with Trump and Trudeau, a few of Trump's future cabinet members joined their Friday night dinner. Trudeau brought his chief of staff to the meeting and said the meeting was, quote, an excellent conversation with Trump. Both Trump and Trudeau did not comment on whether the tariffs were part of the conversation or about Trudeau's relationship with the president-elect at all. Trump posted about the meeting on social media saying, quote, many important topics that will require both countries to work together to address were discussed, some of which may include topics of the drug crisis, fair trade deals, and the U.S. trade deficit. The U.S. and Canada allyship lives on post-meeting despite past remarks made by Trump calling Trudeau weak and dishonest, and Trudeau claiming Trump will harm Canadians. For the Cut Network, I'm Abby Jurek.
Thank you, Abby. President-elect Donald Trump has also been in the news for choosing a director of the FBI, Kash Patel, a former federal prosecutor and public defender. Trump recently, in a social media post, highlights Patel's qualifications as he tried over 60 jury trials and spent about 3 years as a terrorist prosecutor at the Justice Department. In addition, Patel runs a nonprofit that helps January 6 defendants and their families who have been charged for their roles in the attack on the Capitol. Despite his lack in management or law enforcement experience, the president-elect emphasizes Patel's motivation to discredit the Justice Department's investigation into Russia's efforts to influence the 2016 presidential election.
Dreaming of a white Christmas? Well, if you're living in the Midwest and Northeast United States, you'll get a little more than a little snowfall. This past holiday weekend, a massive lake-effect snowstorm hit residents across the Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York areas. Post-Thanksgiving travel was disrupted after 2 feet of snow piled up on residents' homes in the area. Some of the heaviest snowfall fell on the northern Michigan, eastern Ohio, and western New York regions. The 30 inches of snowfall in the area led to the National Guard being activated to assist in rescue efforts. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York declared in Erie County rescue shelters were set up as hundreds of people took refuge from the storm. Some travelers became stranded in their cars as roads became increasingly more dangerous in the snowy conditions. Not even football fans were safe from the weather during Sunday's matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers. As Buffalo won against San Francisco in the midst of 20 inches of snow on Highmark Stadium. As the weather cools down, remember to practice road safety in snowy and icy conditions. Remember, slow down and always consider the distance of your destination.
'Tis the season for travel. Cut reporter Haley Jimenez is in the studio to tell us how to save money on airfare this holiday season. Haley?
Thank you, Andy. Before you start packing, don't let airfare put a damper on your holiday spirit. For travelers booking flights from Phoenix, they will find cheap options. New data from Hopper, an airfare tracker, showed that average round-trip airfare for this December will cost $275. That is $9 up from last month. Hopper found that the cheapest round-trip flights from Phoenix include places like Las Vegas, San Diego, Burbank, Orange County, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Shiloh. For those not traveling to these areas, Hopper said travelers can save up to 34% on airfare costs by booking travel on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day instead of days before the holiday. Lower fares can also be found for flights in early to mid-December, before the holiday travel period. These days are also the least busy days of the season to fly. TSA screened more than 2.5 million passengers on most days of the 2023 holiday season, but only 1.9 to 2.1 million on Christmas Day, Eve, and New Year's Eve. On behalf of the crew here at The Cut, we wish everyone a happy holidays and safe travels. For The Cut Network, I'm Haley Jimenez.
Thank you, Haley. In other news, Arizona plans to reinstate the death penalty once the state receives a death warrant from the state's Supreme Court. Executions were put on hold, ordered by Governor Katie Hobbs after Aaron Gutches was sentenced to death for killing his girlfriend's ex-husband, Ted Price, in 2002. Hobbs then requested a review of Arizona's procurement process for lethal injection drugs, lethal gas, and the execution procedures. Arizona originally had an 8-year execution hiatus that was criticized by a 2014 failed execution and difficulties receiving execution drugs. The review has ultimately been put aside as Governor Hobbs recalls how, end quote, the review faced repeated challenges and, quote, no longer has confidence that she will receive the report to complete her goals for an executive order.
ASU has made the Big 12 championship. Cub reporter Aiden Booker is here to tell us how much it will cost. Aiden?
Thank you, Tyler. Originally picked to finish last, Arizona State is getting ready to play Iowa State in the Big 12 championship this Saturday. Fans are rushing to buy tickets and make travel plans to watch the game at AT&T Stadium in Texas. Tickets for the game start at $103 for upper seat. Better seats cost more, with some selling for $300 or even $5,000. Student tickets are still available through ASU, and they're $70. Flights from Phoenix to Dallas are almost sold out. The cheapest round-trip tickets start at $750, but direct flights are hard to find. If you drive, it's about a 15-hour trip and will cost about $160 for gas. Hotels near the stadium cost around $200 a night. ASU fans say the price is worth it to cheer for the team and be a part of history. From big upsets to championship hopes, this season has been full of excitement. Now with the playoff picture coming together, fans are ready for the biggest games of the year. From the Cut Network, I'm Aiden Booker.
Thank you, Aiden. It has been a crazy week for sports. Cut Sports anchor Courtney Smith is here with the weekly sports report.
Thank you, Tyler. Welcome back to Sports on the Cut. I'm your host, Courtney Smith, and this week has been a very interesting week in sports on the collegiate spectrum. Rival schools play and lead to brawls. Travis Hunter and his fiancée caused mass controversy, and the Arizona State Sun Devils clinched their spot in the Big 12 championship game. Let's get straight into the sports. Rivalry week in college football saw its fair share of fireworks on the field, with several games overshadowed by post-game brawls fueled by flag-planting celebrations. Tensions boiled over after Michigan's narrow 13-10 victory over Ohio State, where players from both sides clashed at midfield as Michigan attempted to plant their flag, leading to police intervention, players being pepper sprayed, and over $100,000 fines for both programs. Similar chaos erupted in the NC State versus North Carolina game, as NC State's flag-planting antics sparked a fight with the Tar Heel players, drawing reprimands and fines from the ACC. This heated confrontations have sparked widespread calls for stricter rules and penalties to curb the unsportsmanlike conduct and behavior that overshadowed some of college football's most storied rivalries. Travis Hunter's exceptional performance in Colorado's 52-0 victory over Oklahoma State, where he recorded 3 touchdowns, 116 receiving yards, along with an interception, was momentarily overshadowed by a seemingly tense post-game interaction with his fiancée, Leanna Laney. Captured on camera, the brief exchange showed Laney turning away as Hunter attempted a kiss, prompting widespread discussion across social media platforms. Users on X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok speculated about the nature of their interaction, with some expressing concerns and others making lighthearted comments. In response, Hunter shared a heartfelt Instagram post featuring affectionate photos of the couple, captioned "Queen," and I quote, and set to the song "My Girl," which helped quell the online chatter. This incident highlights the intense scrutiny public figures face, where personal moments can quickly become viral content, leading to widespread speculation and discussion. Arizona State delivered a dominant 49-7 victory over University of Arizona, securing the coveted Territorial Cup and punching their ticket into the Big 12 championship game. The Sun Devils offense shined with standout performances from running back Cam Scadaboo, who tallied 3 touchdowns, and quarterback Sam Levitt, who passed 291 yards and 3 scores. Their defense was equally relentless, holding the Wildcats to just 210 total yards and stifling any comeback attempts. With this win, Arizona State capped off a strong regular season and solidified their place in the title championship conference. With this win, Arizona State capped off a strong regular season and solidified their place in the conference title game in their first year in the Big 12. That's it for Sports on the Cut. I'm your host, Courtney Smith, and we'll see you right back here next year. Back to you, Tyler.
Thank you, Courtney. Here's a gift that keeps on giving this holiday season. 4-year-old Noah Ruiz loves 2 things in life: SpongeBob SquarePants and popsicles. This past holiday weekend, he got exactly what he wanted when he ordered 918 SpongeBob popsicles with his mom's Amazon account. His mother, Jennifer Bryant, had let Noah use her laptop for remote learning. While she was busy, Noah used her Amazon account, which is linked to her sister's address, and started making orders. She said, quote, "He kept saying the number 51, his mother said, and she didn't think anything of it, as these repeated mantras were common for Noah, who was diagnosed with autism. The significance of 51 didn't dawn on Jennifer until she received a phone call from her sister, letting her know that 51 boxes of SpongeBob popsicles had been delivered to her doorstep, costing a total of $2,619. Since they came from a third party, Amazon wouldn't take the refund, leaving Jennifer worried about being able to pay upcoming bills and expenses for Noah's tuition. Fortunately, a friend and fellow student at NYU's Silver School of Social Work started a GoFundMe page. Within 24 hours, the donations covered the cost of the popsicles and even exceeded the amount needed. Jennifer says she'll use the extra money to pay Noah's tuition and is hoping she'll be able to send him to a special school for kids on the autism spectrum.
Well, it looks like someone's ending up on Santa's naughty list this year.
Well, isn't that right? I mean, that's a wonderful Christmas gift, but I kind of wish he kept them all.
I know. Do you think he did? Do you think he'll finish them?
Well, he might have to wait till graduation to get through them all.
Thank you so much for watching The Cut Network.
Be sure to follow our Instagram at @thecut_network and on X @thecut_ASU.
Have a wonderful day.